On my birthday, my husband transferred the child fund we'd saved for 3 years, $1 million, to his mistress. The note read, "For you and the baby." And me? I was standing alone at the dining table, clutching a 3-month pregnancy test report, watching my cake slowly melt. 3 days later, she deliberately forced my car to stop on the road. I miscarried and ended up on an operating table while he was at a prenatal checkup. With her, I calmly saved the transfer records, medical files, and surveillance footage, contacted the most ruthless divorce lawyer I could find, sent her to prison, and made him leave the marriage with nothing. Before the story truly begins, I want to see you all in the comments. That's what keeps me updating. My birthday cake was melting on the table. I was holding my pregnancy report, 3 months pregnant. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the paper. I should have been happy. I'd planned it for a week, folding the report into the cake. When Daniel cut it open, he'd see the word Dad. Would he lift me and spin me around? Would he cry? Would he immediately call his parents? I didn't know. All I knew was that he'd been home for less than 10 minutes. The phone rang, on speaker. Lydia's voice was sickly sweet. "Darling, I'm starving. You promised you'd spend tonight with me." Daniel glanced at me and walked toward the balcony, but I still heard everything. "It's her birthday. I can't get away." Okay, I'll transfer it. "How much do you want?" He came back, picked up his phone. I watched him type in the number, a 1 followed by 6 zeros. $1 million. That was our child housing fund. We'd saved it for 3 years. Every month, the moment my paycheck hit my account, I transferred money into it. Daniel always said he was busy, that he forgot. Out of 100 transfers, 99 had my name on them. He pressed confirm. The note popped up, "For you and the baby." I stared at those words. 3 minutes later, Lydia updated her social media. A screenshot of the transfer, captioned, "Thank you, baby daddy." The second photo was an ultrasound report. Date, today. The baby inside me didn't even have a heartbeat yet. Her baby was already posting online. Daniel walked over and kissed my forehead. "Something urgent came up at work. I have to go. You eat the cake first." He didn't even light the candles. The door closed. The dining room lights shut off automatically. In the darkness, only the number-shaped candles, 30, slowly collapsed. My phone vibrated. "The hospital, MS. Chin. Your prenatal appointment is tomorrow at 10 a.m. Do you need a family member to accompany you?" I looked out at the city skyline, the city we'd built our lives in together. He said he'd give me a home. "No," I said, "and please transfer me to the OBGYN operating room. I want to schedule a termination." The nurse paused for a second. "Are you sure? Don't you need to discuss this with your husband, my body?" I interrupted. "I decide." After hanging up, I tore the pregnancy report into pieces and threw them into the melting cake. Then I opened my banking app and transferred the last bit of money from our joint account, my salary, to my mother. Only after that did I realize I was smiling through tears. A week later, when Daniel came home, he saw a moving truck outside. He rushed in. "Grace, what are you doing?" I was sitting on the living room sofa, second day after surgery, pale, but sitting straight. For movers were carrying furniture out of the master bedroom. "Organizing," I said. He shoved past the movers and stormed into the bedroom. The closet was empty. The vanity was empty. The nightstand, he yanked the drawer open. Empty. "Where's my watch? My limited edition sneakers?" He spun around and glared at me. "And the things Lydia gave me, that trash." I said calmly. "I threw it out." "You're insane. Those were our memories." "Our memories?" I laughed. "Daniel, that photo you said was you and your first love at the beach, the girl in the school uniform is me." He froze. "It was from our high school graduation trip." I was on his left. He had his arm around my shoulder. Later, he cut the photo so only he and the ocean on the right remained. He said it was a memory with his first love. His first love had always been me. He just forgot. Or rather, he needed to forget. Daniel's expression shifted, from anger to fake tenderness. He walked over and tried to take my hand. I pulled away. "Grace, don't be like this," he said quietly. "I know you're mad, but Lydia's pregnant. Her emotions are unstable. I have to take care of her. Once the baby's born, I'll come back. We can have our own child too, I heard there's some miracle drug that lets you have twins in one go. Just hang in there, okay? He said it so matter-of-factly, as if my uterus were a factory that just needed an upgrade. I looked at him, the man I'd loved for 15 years. The baby's gone, I said. He blinked. What? I was pregnant. 3 months. Yesterday. I had surgery. The look on his face is something I'll never forget. It wasn't shock. It wasn't pain. It was suspicion. He stepped back. You made this up to get me back? I opened my phone and pulled up the bank records. The 100th transfer, made on the same day he wired the baby fund to Lydia. He stared at the screen. His face went pale. I really was pregnant, I said. And I really miscarried. While you were your first love at her prenatal checkup. I was alone in the hospital signing consent forms. The nurse asked why my husband wasn't there. I said he was busy being someone else's dad. Daniel opened his mouth. I thought he might apologize, at least pretend to. Instead, he said, "Why are you being so immature? Lydia needs stability right now." Saying this now, aren't you just forcing me? When did you become so selfish? I stood up. My calves were still bleeding. Post-surgery blood soaked through the pad and stained my pants. He didn't notice. Or he pretended not to. Daniel. I cut him off. Let's get divorced. He laughed, a mocking laugh. Divorce? You think you can leave me? You're 30. You haven't worked in 3 years. All your savings are in the joint account. What are you going to divorce me with? His phone rang. Lydia's custom ringtone. He answered. Instantly gentle. What's wrong, baby? What? Your stomach hurts? Don't move. I'm coming right now. He hung up, grabbed his car keys. At the door, he turned back and pointed at me. Stay home. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk when I get back. Then he ran off. Like he always did. Only this time, I didn't cry. I opened my contacts and found a name, Olivia. Divorce attorney, specializes in tearing apart wealthy husbands. My college roommate. Then I opened another app, the police case inquiry system. I entered the case number. The day I came back from the hospital, a pink sports car had forced me off the road. I'd almost crashed into the guardrail. The driver fled the scene. I'd reported it. Surveillance status, retrieved. I clicked. Pink sports car. No license plate. But the driver's profile was crystal clear. Lydia. This was no longer a relationship issue. This was a criminal case. Olivia's voice came through the phone, calm as a scalpel. Do you have all the transfer records saved? Pregnancy reports? Surgical consent forms? The hit-and-run police receipt? Good. Now listen carefully, don't delete any chat history. Don't move out of the house. And don't bring up divorce first. Let him do it. Why? I asked. Because of the prenup, Olivia said. The one you signed. The at-fault party walks away with nothing. We need him to be the at-fault party. I remembered. 5 years ago, when Daniel proposed, his parents brought out the agreement, said it was a family rule. I thought it was ridiculous. Daniel held me and said, just sign it. We'll never need it anyway. I signed. Now, I was going to use it to strip him bare. What's next? I asked. More evidence. The money he transferred to Lydia is marital property, we can claw it back. And the hit and run, if it caused substantial harm, like your miscarriage, we can move it toward intentional injury. You'll need medical proof that the miscarriage is directly linked to the incident. I tightened my grip on the phone. I have it. You do? After she forced me off the road, I had severe abdominal pain. I went to the hospital. The doctor noted signs of threatened miscarriage. It's in my medical records. Olivia was silent for 2 seconds. Grace, you were already prepared, weren't you? I looked out the window. Daniel's car had disappeared at the next intersection. I said, finally don't want to be blind anymore. After hanging up, I called the moving company. Everything from the master bedroom goes into storage. His belongings get packed separately. Label them, trash. Then I changed clothes and went to the police station. The officer who received me was Officer Chin. He pulled up the footage. We checked the car. It's a cloned vehicle. The registered owner is overseas. But we've confirmed the driver's identity, this Miss Lydia. He showed me a copy of her ID. Young, pretty, arrogance written between her brows. We'll summon her, Officer Chin said. But we'll need your formal statement. And you mentioned earlier that your health was affected. I miscarried, I said directly. 3 days after the incident. His pen paused. We'll need medical proof. I have it. I took everything out of my bag, the pregnancy report, surgical consent, medical records, and screenshots of Daniel's transfer to Lydia, one by one, spread across the desk, like an autopsy of my marriage. After reading them, Officer Chen looked up at me. Does your husband know about this? Yes, I said. He chose to stay with the person who caused it. The officer said nothing, but I saw sympathy in his eyes. I didn't want sympathy. I wanted justice. When I left the station, it was dark. My phone showed 17 missed calls, all from Daniel. There was also a voice message. Grace, where did you go? Lydia's been hospitalized. The doctor says it's false contractions. She needs to stay stable. I can't leave right now. Be good and go home. Okay? Stop making trouble. I listened once, then deleted it. I called Olivia. He still hasn't asked for a divorce. Can I provoke him? How? She asked. Smash something, I said, like the mistress's car. Olivia laughed. Be careful, and take pictures. 3 days later, Lydia posted an update. A pink sports car parked outside a high-end beauty clinic. Caption, fresh from treatments. Feeling amazing thanks to darling for the birthday gift. I zoomed in. Where the license plate should have been, there was a temporary plate. Expired. Perfect. I brought 3 men from a licensed security company, Olivia's recommendation. Fully legal, and went straight to the clinic. 3 p.m. Peak hour for rich women getting facials. The pink sports car sat in the VIP parking spot. I walked over. The guards followed. Smash it, I said. The hammer came down. The sound echoed through the parking garage. The alarm screamed. Windows shattered into spiderwebs. Metal screeched as the body was scraped. The clinic's security rushed out. Stop! What are you doing? I turned to face Lydia, who came running out of the clinic. She was wearing a silk robe, a face mask still stuck to her cheeks. When she saw the car, she screamed, "My car! Grace, are you insane?" I flung a stack of documents into the air. This car was purchased in March this year, paid from a joint account belonging to Daniel and me. The purchase contract is under Daniel's name. This is marital property. Copies fluttered into the crowd. Women in robes and hair caps bent down, curious, picking them up. You have no right. Lydia charged at me, trying to grab my face. The security guards blocked her. No right? I laughed. I'm his legal wife. Under marital law, I have the right to dispose of joint property. And you, Miss Lydia, driving this car, is illegal possession. Her face went white. You're lying. Daniel gave this to me. Gave it to you? I took out my phone and played a recording. Daniel's voice. Accidentally captured days earlier. Just drive the car for now. Once the divorce is finalized, I'll transfer it to you. Grace is still around. Can't be too obvious. The crowd erupted. Panicking, Lydia pulled out her phone and called the police. Hello? 911? Someone is deliberately damaging property. I took the tablet a guard handed me and opened the surveillance screenshots. Officer. Perfect timing, I said into her phone. I'd also like to report that this pink sports car forced my vehicle off the road last Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Zhongshan Road, causing me severe distress and a subsequent miscarriage. The driver fled the scene. The driver is Miss Lydia. This is the footage. I turned the tablet screen toward the crowd. The footage was crystal clear. The pink sports car deliberately cut into my lane. My car swerved to avoid it and slammed into the guardrail. The sports car sped away. Lydia's hands started shaking. You're framing me. It was an accident. Whether it was an accident is for the police to decide, I said. And this clinic, yours, right? Also paid for with Daniel's money. Starting today, it's no longer a beauty salon. I signaled to the security guards. They pulled out a banner and hung it directly above the entrance. Red background. Yellow letters, Mistress Only Beauty Salon. Legal wives not welcome. People began taking photos. Camera flashes went off non-stop. Lydia rushed over, trying to tear the banner down, but the guards stopped her. She screamed insults at me, hysterical and vicious. I just looked at her, watched the carefully crafted socialite image she'd worked so hard to maintain shatter right in front of me. For the first time, public opinion didn't side with the so-called poor true love. It sided with me. Lydia's breakdown was a spectacle. She grabbed her hair and screamed at the crowd. What do you people know? Daniel and I were first loves. She's the third party. The one who isn't loved is the real mistress. The wealthy women exchanged glances. Some showed open disdain. I walked over and stood in front of her. First, I said, Daniel and I dated in high school, lived together in college, and have been married for 5 years. You were his middle school classmate, secretly in love with him for 10 years, and you reached out after he got married. So tell me, who's the mistress? Second, I raised my voice. You say this is true love? Does true love require him stealing my savings to buy you a car? Does true love require you faking a pregnancy to scam money? Does true love require you running me off the road and causing my miscarriage? The crowd exploded. Miscarriage? She was pregnant? She hit someone with a car? Lydia's face went from white to green. You're lying. I didn't hit you, and I didn't fake. I slapped her. Hard. The entire parking lot fell silent. This slap, I said, is for my unborn child. She covered her face, staring at me in disbelief. The surveillance footage has already been turned over to the police. I continued. And your fake ultrasound, I tracked down where it came from. You paid 500 yuan online for a template. Want me to release the seller's testimony too? She completely panicked. How do you know? How did I know? Because I found the seller myself. I paid double and bought every single transaction record. As for this clinic, I said, scanning the crowd, starting today, it won't have a single customer. Right then, a woman dressed head to toe in Chanel walked out. I recognized her, the legal wife of a corporate chairman, famous for publicly destroying her husband's mistress last year. She looked at me and nodded. Then she turned to Lydia. I'm canceling my membership. Don't bother refunding the money, consider it funeral money for you. The other women immediately chimed in. Me too. Disgusting. The wife's still around and she's this arrogant? Lydia watched as her clients walked away one by one, like she was attending her own funeral. She frantically called Daniel. It connected, and she cried into the phone. Darling, Grace has gone crazy. She smashed the car and hit me. Come quick. I snatched the phone and put it on speaker. Daniel, I said, I smashed your mistress's shop. Got a problem with that? Dead silence on the other end. Then he said, Grace, have you had enough? Apologize to Lydia immediately. I laughed. Apologize? Sure. Let's apologize together when you get here. I hung up and tossed the phone back to Lydia. He's on his way. I said, wait. While waiting, I opened Weibo. Trending number 3, hashtag legal wife destroys mistress on site. The video had been uploaded by someone I arranged. Clear. Complete. With a simple caption, husband cheats. Mistress runs me off the road. Causes miscarriage. Wife smashes car to defend her rights. The comments were overwhelmingly one-sided. Go to hell. Mistress. Well done. Legal wife. Who's the man? Expose him. Lydia stared at her phone, hands trembling. The more she tried to clean her image, the darker it got. Daniel arrived 20 minutes later. He shoved his way through the crowd and immediately pulled Lydia into his arms. Are you okay, baby? Did she hit you? Let me see. Lydia instantly burst into tears. She hit me, smashed the car. Our baby was so scared. Daniel turned and glared at me, like I was his enemy. Grace, he said through clenched teeth. Enough. You took this online, aren't you ashamed? Ashamed? I repeated. You cheating isn't shameful? Using our money to support a mistress isn't shameful? Her hitting me with a car isn't shameful? But me defending myself is? People around us were filming. Daniel noticed and lowered his voice. Go home. Don't embarrass yourself here. Fine, I said. But answer me one question first. The sports car you bought, Lydia, was it paid for with money from our joint account? His face changed. That was an investment. An investment in what? I shot back. An investment in your mistress's womb? I pulled out my phone. Then what about this? 1 million US dollars. Note, for you and the baby. What kind of investment is that? Investing in your happy little family of 3? The crowd booed. Daniel snapped. That's money I earned. I can give it to whoever I want. You earned it? I laughed. Daniel, for the past 3 years your company has been losing money. It survived on capital injections from my parents. I've been paying off your credit cards. Every cent you gave that mistress has my blood and sweat on it. Want me to print out the financial statements and tape them right here? He was speechless. Lydia tugged at his sleeve. Darling, stop talking to her. Let's go. Take me to the hospital. The baby isn't feeling well. Daniel held her tightly and said to me, Grace, I never thought you'd become this vicious. Lydia's pregnant. She can't handle this kind of stress. Are you trying to her to death? Pregnant? I stared at Lydia's stomach. 3 months? That flat? Or is it that you're not pregnant at all? Lydia instinctively covered her belly. Daniel. I continued. Do you know why we've been married 5 years with no kids? It wasn't my problem. It was yours. Your sperm motility is too low. The doctor said natural conception would be extremely difficult. I hid that report in the third drawer of the study. You've never looked at it, have you? The crowd erupted. Daniel's face went completely pale. You're lying, whether I'm lying or not. You can go to the hospital and check right now, I said. As for the baby in Lydia's belly, I seriously doubt it's yours. That sentence shattered whatever rationality Daniel had left. Grace, he roared. If you insult Lydia one more time, what? I met his gaze. Hit me? Like your dad hit your mom? He froze. I'm here today to give you a choice, I said. Either you immediately cut ties with Lydia and come home to beg for my forgiveness, or I start divorce proceedings and you walk away with nothing. Choose. He looked at me like he was seeing me for the first time. Then he said, I won't choose. Lydia's pregnant with my child. I have to be responsible for her. As for you, Grace, I'm so disappointed. I thought you were sensible, but you're so narrow-minded. He hugged Lydia and turned to leave. Daniel, I called out. Where are you taking her? To my parents' house, he said without looking back. Since you can't accept her, my parents will take care of her. I smiled. Perfect. I haven't seen them in a while anyway. I'll come along. He turned, frowning. What do you mean? I said as I walked up and opened his car door, sliding into the back seat. I'm coming too. Let's see how your parents welcome the mistress who's carrying their golden grandchild. Daniel and Lydia froze, but I had already buckled my seatbelt. Drive, I said. Daniel's parents lived in a villa district in the west of the city. As the car drove in, I glanced in the rearview mirror. Olivia had arranged another car to discreetly follow at a short distance. The door opened. Daniel's mother saw me and smiled. Grace, you're here? Why didn't you? Then she saw Daniel hugging Lydia. The smile froze. Daniel's father came out and saw the scene, his face darkening. Daniel, what is this? Daniel pushed Lydia slightly forward. Dad, Mom, this is Lydia. She is pregnant with my child. Silence. The fruit tray in Daniel's mother's hands clattered to the floor. What did you say? Daniel's father's voice trembled. Dad, Mom, I'm sorry. Daniel bowed his head. But I have to be responsible. Lydia's carrying a boy, 3 months along. I have to take care of her. So, I spoke calmly. You used our marital savings to buy her a $1 million baby fund, a sports car, and a beauty clinic? Both parents glared at Daniel. You used the joint savings? Daniel's father's voice rose. It's my money, Daniel protested. Yours? I pulled out my phone and opened the bank statements. Your personal account averaged $20,000 per month over the last 3 years. The transfers to Lydia totaled over $500,000. Where did the money come from? Misappropriated company funds. And the company's largest shareholder is my father. Daniel's mother covered her mouth. Also, I continued. Last Tuesday, Lydia deliberately forced me off the road, causing me severe distress and a miscarriage. This is a filed hit-and-run police case. That day, Daniel accompanied Lydia for a fake prenatal checkup. I handed the tablet to Daniel's parents. Surveillance screenshots, police receipts, miscarriage operation documents. Daniel's father's hand trembled. Daniel, his mother's voice choked. How could you? Grace is your wife. She counts as a wife? Daniel exploded. Married 5 years and still no kids. All she does is check accounts and manage money. I work myself to exhaustion outside. Has she ever cared? Lydia understands me, loves me, and is carrying my son. I chose her. What's wrong with that? I stared at him, at a man willing to devalue me to protect a mistress. Finished? I asked. He panted, glaring at me. Now it's my turn. I faced his parents. Dad. Mom. I'm here today to notify you, I am divorcing Daniel. According to the prenup, the at-fault party leaves with nothing. Daniel cheated, transferred marital assets, and allowed the mistress to harm me. The evidence is clear. He will lose everything: house, car, company shares, savings, including the trust fund you gave him, because that was a marital gift, part of joint property. Their faces turned pale. You're going to ruin my son? Daniel's mother trembled. He ruined me first, I said. He destroyed my marriage, my child, and tried to ruin my life. Lydia suddenly interrupted. Uncle, Auntie, don't listen to her. She just wants money. Daniel and I are true love. We can sign an agreement, don't need a penny from you. Oh, I turned to her. Then return that $1 million first. Return the car. Close the clinic. She went silent. Daniel pulled her aside. Don't talk. Why not? Lydia shook him off. You're just soft-hearted. Even after all this, you still cling to her? Daniel, my baby is yours. Are you choosing her or your child and me? Classic coercion. The parents watched the farce, their expressions shifting from shock to disappointment, then anger. Daniel, his father finally said, I'm giving you two choices. First, immediately cut ties with this woman and go home to apologize to Grace, to try and earn her forgiveness. Second, if you choose her, then I no longer have a son. Daniel froze. He hadn't expected the father who'd always spoiled him to say this. Dad, you're forcing me? I'm being forced by you. His father slammed the table. You've shamed our family, cheating, supporting a mistress, even causing someone to die. If this goes public, how can I face the board? His mother cried, grabbing his father. Don't push the child, push him? His father pointed at Daniel. He pushed us into this situation. Grace's evidence, if made public, would destroy the whole family. Daniel looked at me. For the first time, there was fear in his eyes. Not fear of losing me, fear of losing money. At that moment, Lydia suddenly clutched her stomach and groaned. Ah, it hurts. Daniel, my stomach hurts so much. Her acting was terrible, but Daniel immediately rushed over and scooped her into his arms. Baby, what happened? Did you get angry? Mom, Dad, look, she's upset her. His mother panicked slightly. Should we call an ambulance? No need, I said. Everyone looked at me. I slowly walked forward and crouched in front of Lydia. Stomach hurts? I stared into her eyes. It's probably your stomach, isn't it? After all, faking a 3-month pregnancy means wearing a fake belly every day. Can't even eat properly. How's your stomach supposed to be okay? Lydia's face instantly turned ashen. What are you talking about? Talking nonsense? I stood up and pulled a file from my bag. Here are the transaction records for the fake ultrasound you bought. The seller's last name is Wang. Lives in East City. He clearly stated, you requested a 3-month male pregnancy ultrasound to win back your boyfriend. Cost, 500 yuan. Do you want me to have him identified in person? Daniel's hands loosened. There's more. I continued. The prenatal hospital you visited last week? I checked. The obstetrics department of that hospital had shut down for renovations last month. The prenatal photos you posted were grabbed online. Want me to send you the original links? Lydia started trembling. As for the baby in your belly, I reached out and suddenly lifted her top. Beneath it was a silicone fake belly, tightly strapped, leaving red marks on her skin. The living room fell into dead silence. Then Daniel's mother screamed, fake. It's fake. Daniel's father grabbed a teacup and hurled it at Daniel. You let this woman fool you, and because of her, you almost killed your own flesh and blood. The cup hit Daniel on the forehead, blood running down, but he didn't move. He just looked at Lydia, like she was some kind of monster. He croaked. You weren't pregnant? Lydia panicked, scrambling up and grabbing his hand. Darling, listen to me. I loved you so much. I was afraid you'd leave me. That's why so you lied to me? Daniel shoved her away. Lied to me out of $1 million? Lied to get me to buy a car and a store? Lied to make me fight with Grace? I did it for our future. Lydia cried. Once we get the money, we can go abroad and really have a child. Enough. Daniel yelled. He turned to look at me. His eyes were complex, shock, shame, but most of all, anger. Anger at her. Anger at himself. Grace, he said. You don't need to apologize. I cut him off. I won't accept it. I pulled out another file. This is a complete list of all the transfers you made to Lydia, totaling $5.72 million. Here's the equity structure of her salon. You hold 70%. This is your joint overseas account. You thought I didn't know. But I found it. I handed the file to Daniel's parents. Dad, Mom, these assets are all marital property. If we divorce, I'm entitled to half. And if this goes through legal channels, all of this will be public. Your family's reputation will be destroyed. Daniel's father's hand trembled. What do you want? He asked. 2 conditions. I said. First, Daniel immediately signs the divorce papers and leaves with nothing. Second, your family publicly apologizes, acknowledges Daniel's affair, and compensates me for emotional damages and medical expenses. Impossible, Daniel blurted. I will not walk away with nothing. Then see you in court. I closed the file. By the way, I will escalate Lydia's hit and run causing my miscarriage to intentional injury. She's the main perpetrator. You're complicit for knowing and covering up. Daniel went pale. You dare. Why wouldn't I dare? I smiled. My child is gone. My marriage is ruined. What else am I afraid of? His mother began to cry. Grace, please, don't do this. Daniel is your husband, he was. I said. But now, he's just one of the people who killed my child. I turned to leave. Behind me, Lydia lunged. It's all your fault. You ruined everything. She swiped at my face. I didn't dodge. Because the next second, Daniel grabbed her wrist. Enough! He shouted at her. Isn't this chaos enough for you? Then, something I never expected him to do in my life, he slapped her. Hard. Lydia fell to the floor, covering her face, staring at him in disbelief. Daniel panted, looking at me. Grace, he said. Let's talk. Privately, I saw pleading in his eyes. For the first time, he lowered his head, but it was too late. There's nothing to talk about. I said. The lawyer will contact you. I walked out of the villa. Behind me were Lydia's cries and curses, my mother-in-law's sobbing, my father-in-law's shouting, and Daniel's roar, Grace, come back here. I didn't look back. Olivia's car was waiting at the gate. I got in and closed the door. How did it go? She asked. Done. I said. They're scared. My phone buzzed. A WeChat message from Daniel. Can we talk properly? I can break up with Lydia. We can start over. I read it and deleted it. Then I replied, see you at the Civil Affairs Bureau tomorrow at 10 a.m. Bring your ID and marriage certificate. He immediately replied, are you really this cold-hearted? I blocked him. The next day, Daniel didn't show up at the bureau. His mother did. Her eyes were red and swollen as she grabbed my hand. Grace, I beg you, don't divorce. Daniel knows he was wrong. He'll change. We'll kick Lydia out. You're young, you can still have another child. I pulled my hand back. Mom, I said, this is the last time I call you Mom. My child is dead, killed by your son and the mistress. How do you expect me to forgive that? She cried harder. It was an accident. Daniel didn't know she wasn't pregnant. He didn't know she hit you, he knew. I said calmly. I told him the day I miscarried. His first reaction was to doubt me. He didn't ask how I was feeling, didn't ask what happened to the child. He only wanted to protect Lydia. She had nothing to say. I'm not here to negotiate today. I said. I'm here to notify you. If Daniel doesn't come sign today, tomorrow my lawyer will file the lawsuit. By then, it won't just be a divorce. His mother trembled. What else do you want? Intentional injury charges. I said. Lydia is the main perpetrator. Daniel is the accessory. Criminal offense, jail time. His mother slumped into a chair. At that moment, Daniel stormed in. His hair was disheveled. His eyes red, as if he hadn't slept all night. Grace, he grabbed my shoulders. Are you trying to kill me? The security guard stepped in to pull him away. I straightened my collar. Me? Force you? Daniel, you've been forcing me from the moment you first cheated. From the very beginning. You pushed me to the edge. I didn't cheat, he yelled. I just made mistakes all men make. Heads turned. Everyone waiting in the office stared. Oh, I raised my voice. All men transfer $1 million to a mistress? All men let their mistress drive to run down their wives? All men go with a mistress to fake prenatal appointments after their wife miscarries? People started pointing and murmuring. Daniel's face turned steel gray. Shut up. Why should I shut up? I stared at him. The one who's done wrong isn't me. The one who should shut up is you. He suddenly erupted, broke free from the guards, and slapped me across the face. Hard. I fell to the ground, blood trickling from the corner of my mouth. But I was smiling, because I saw the camera in the corner, pointing right at us, and the bystanders Olivia arranged were filming on their phones. The security guards restrained Daniel and called the police. The officers arrived, reviewed the surveillance footage, and questioned the situation. I sat on the floor and slowly took out my miscarriage operation report from my bag. The paper was wrinkled, but the text was clear. Patient name, Gracedian procedure, artificial termination of pregnancy date, October 26, 2023. I handed it to the officer. Officer, I said, a week ago, I miscarried. Today, my husband assaulted me in public because I refused to forgive his affair. The officer looked at the report and then at the slap mark on my face. His expression serious. Sir, please come with us. Daniel panicked. I didn't mean it. She provoked me. She insulted my parents. Discussed that at the station, the officer said as he handcuffed him. His mother rushed forward. Officer, this is a family matter. Don't arrest my son. Intentional injury is a criminal offense, not a family matter, the officer said formally. Before being taken away, Daniel glanced at me. Hatred, regret, and fear. For the first time, he realized, this time, he was truly finished. I stood, wiping the blood from my mouth. Olivia came over, handing me a wet wipe. It's all recorded, she said. Intentional injury, evidence solid. With the previous infidelity evidence, the divorce case is guaranteed. I nodded. Also, Olivia lowered her voice. Lydia has already been charged with fraud and intentional injury. That fake belly is key evidence. It proves she defrauded you and caused your injury through her scam. Will she go to jail? I asked. Minimum 3 years, Olivia said. And all the money she scammed must be returned. I looked out the window. The sun was shining. My child is gone, but those responsible will pay. A month later, the trial began. Lydia's case was first. Fraud, guilty. Intentional injury, guilty. Multiple sentences combined, 3 years in prison. All illegally obtained assets, including the car, salon shares, and the $1 million, were returned to me. She cried in court, claiming to be the victim, saying Daniel had deceived her emotionally. The judge slammed the gavel. Silence. You faked a pregnancy, defrauded money, drove to injure another, and caused a miscarriage. The evidence is conclusive. Appeals won't change the verdict. She glared at me as bailiffs escorted her out. Her look was like a venomous snake, but the snake had been defanged. Next was the divorce case. Daniel hired the best lawyer, trying to argue the marriage failed due to shared fault, claiming I was cold and indifferent, which drove him to seek comfort elsewhere. My lawyer Olivia smiled. She played a recording in court. It was a conversation between Daniel and Lydia, secretly recorded by me. Once Grace signs the divorce papers, we can go abroad and get married. My parents? I'll handle them. What about the money? You promised me a villa. Don't worry. I'll get half the marital assets in the divorce. That's enough for you. The courtroom erupted. Daniel's lawyer tried to object, claiming the recording was illegally obtained. The judge overruled. The recording was made in the plaintiff's own home and pertains to her own rights. It is not illegal evidence. Then Olivia delivered the killer blow, the prenuptial agreement, the one Daniel had me sign years ago, designed to protect the at-fault party. According to Article 7 of the agreement, Olivia read aloud, if a party engages in infidelity, domestic violence, or major misconduct during the marriage, they are deemed at fault. The at-fault party must relinquish all marital property and compensate the other party for emotional damages upon divorce. Daniel stood up. That agreement was forced by my parents. I didn't even know what was in it. Olivia smiled. You signed it. Notarized. Legally binding. She then presented the evidence chain, affair photos, transfer records, hit-and-run surveillance, domestic violence footage, police reports, each piece linked. Daniel's lawyer was speechless. During closing, Daniel looked at me, choking on his words. Grace, I know I was wrong. I was blinded and hurt you. But 15 years of love, can you really erase it all? We were so in love. Give me one chance, please? I'll do anything to make it right. The judge looked at me. Plaintiff, do you wish to accept mediation? I stood. No. The courtroom fell silent. I looked at Daniel, the man I had loved half my life and hated the other half. From the day you cheated, our love died. From the moment you let Lydia run me off the road, our marriage shattered. From the moment I lay on the operating table alone, I gave up on you. I took a deep breath. Your Honor, I request a divorce, and according to the prenuptial agreement, I ask that the defendant leave with nothing. The judge struck the gavel. Divorce granted. All marital property shall belong to the plaintiff. The defendant must vacate the marital home within 30 days. Additionally, the defendant shall compensate the plaintiff 500,000 yuan for emotional damages. Daniel slumped into his chair. He lost his marriage, his assets, his reputation, and he lost me. After the divorce, I moved into a new apartment, bought with the money recovered from him, in the city center, heavily secured. Daniel didn't know the address, but he still found me. Late at night, the doorbell rang incessantly. Surveillance footage showed him drunk, pressed against the door. Grace, open the door. I know you're inside. I ignored him. He started kicking the door. The security guards came and dragged him away. The next night, he tried climbing in through the fire escape. I live on the 12th floor. He slipped halfway up. Screams rang out, alarming the entire building. An ambulance came. He was carried away with his leg bent at an unnatural angle. The hospital called me. They needed a relative to sign for surgery. I'm not a relative. I said, we're divorced, but you're the only contact in his phone, then call his parents. I hung up, but his parents still came, waiting outside my office building. They were older, worn down. His mother begged me to visit him in the hospital. He broke his leg, lying there, calling your name. Grace, even though you're divorced, there's still a bond. I looked at them. Mom, I corrected myself. Auntie, do you remember the day I miscarried? Where was your son? Her head hung low. He was with his mistress. I answered for her. I called him, said I was in pain and bleeding. He said, don't bother me. Lydia is at her prenatal check. And then he hung up. Tears fell from her eyes. You want me to speak of bond? I laughed. Who will talk to my unborn child about bond? His father spoke. We know we wronged you. But Daniel really is miserable now, lost his job. Friends ignore him. His leg is broken. Just pity him. I won't pity him. I said, because no one ever pitied me. I turned to leave. His mother grabbed my arm. Then, can you at least return the marital home to us? It's our lifetime savings. I stopped. The house has been sold. I said, the money was donated to the Women and Children Protection Foundation. Do you want a receipt? They froze. You donated it? Yes. I said, it was dirty money. It disgusted me to keep it. With that, I walked into the building, without looking back. Later, I heard that Daniel's surgery went poorly, leaving him permanently limping. His parents sold the villa to cover medical costs, and the family moved to a small house in the suburbs. Meanwhile, I had arranged my visa and prepared to go abroad. On the day I left, the airport screens were showing financial news. Jin Group announces acquisition of Daniel's former company, completing business integration. New CEO emphasizes focus on women's workplace rights. My father smiled at the camera. It was the first time after my divorce that I leveraged my network, having my father intervene to acquire Daniel's company. Not revenge, just cleaning up the mess. Before boarding, I received a text from an unknown number. Grace, I'm sorry. I truly know I was wrong. Can you forgive me? I read it, deleted it, then turned off my phone. As the plane took off, I watched the city shrink beneath me. Here were my happiest youthful moments, and my deepest pain. But all of it was in the past. I settled in a small town in northern Europe, rented a wooden cabin by the lake. Days spent writing, evenings walking, weekends learning pottery. No one knew my past. Here, I was just an ordinary Asian woman. Sometimes I thought of Daniel, not longing, just analysis, analyzing how I had transformed from a naive, love-struck girl into a woman capable of tearing down her ex-husband. I didn't want to become ruthless. He forced me to. 3 months later, Olivia called. Lydia tried to commit suicide in prison. Failed. Her parents visited once. Scolded her. Never went back. What about Daniel? I asked. He found a sales job paying 4,000 yuan a month. His leg slows him down. Co-workers mock him. Last month he was fired for embezzling a few hundred yuan to buy alcohol. Now he lives off his parents' pension. I was silent. Will you feel sorry for him? Olivia asked. No, I said. To feel sorry for him is to betray me lying alone, desperate on the operating table. Olivia smiled. You've grown. The cost was too high, I whispered. After hanging up, I opened my inbox. There was a long email from Daniel. He wrote about his regrets, dreaming of our child, living with guilt every day. If I could turn back time, I would never make the mistake. Grace, I have always loved you. Lydia was a mistake. I read it, deleted it. Then I replied with one line. Time cannot turn back. I will not look back either. Sent. Blocked. After doing all that, I stepped out of the cabin. Children played by the lake. Golden hair, blue eyes, carefree laughter. I watched them for a long time. Then, I took out my phone and photographed the lake. Posted it online. Caption, new life. I didn't block anyone. Within a minute, over 100 likes. Friends commented, so happy for you. Reborn. Live for yourself. No one mentioned Daniel. He was completely erased from my world. The following spring, I published my first book, Rebirth, From Wife to Self. Non-fiction. Detailing my marriage and awakening. Lawyers reviewed the manuscript before publishing to ensure legality. It hit the bestseller list. At a book signing, a young girl asked, if you could do it all over, would you marry him? I thought for a moment. Yes, I said, because without that marriage, I wouldn't be who I am today. He was the hardest lesson, and the deepest growth. The girl cried. I just found out my boyfriend cheated. I don't know what to do. I handed her a tissue. Ask yourself one question. Do you still love him? Not the past him, but the present one who hurt you. She shook her head. Then leave. I said. The pain is temporary. Better than a lifetime of it. After the signing, the publisher emailed. The book would be reprinted. 100,000 more copies. A production company wanted adaptation rights. I replied, fine, but I will review the script. I will not allow a forgive the cheating husband, reconcile ending. They agreed. That night, I celebrated alone, bought a small cake, placed a candle, no happy birthday written, because today wasn't a birthday. It was the 2nd anniversary of my divorce. I lit the candle for myself, made a wish to never lose myself for anyone again. After blowing it out, I opened my laptop and began writing my second book. Working title, Wholeness Alone. Outside the window, the northern lights shimmered, green waves flowing, unreal in beauty. I paused typing, staring at them for a long while. Then, I raised my glass to the night sky. To freedom, I said. I drank it down. The wine was strong, but my heart was calm. Finally, I understood. True victory is not making the ones who hurt you pay. It is being able to live each day in peace. No more hatred. No more resentment. Just living, fully, for yourself.